Hello and welcome to this month's astrology episode. I am going to actually talk about something I don't normally talk about, which is the new moon. I usually don't talk about the new moon cycles on this channel, but this particular new moon really feels like it's big, and I wanted to really work with it to dig in and see what's possible for all of us in this new world we're shifting into. I'm Jamie Ehrenberg with Idlewild Retreats, and this is my journey of following my intuition and becoming my truest self. So the new moon in Taurus this month is going to happen on May 16th at 3 p.m. Central Time, so you can adjust the time depending on where you are. And it is going to land at 25 degrees Taurus, so really late in the zodiac sign of Taurus. There's 29 degrees total in each 30 degrees, but it only goes to 29 if you don't know that in each sign. And I want to just give us a little refresher on the importance of a new moon. The new moon really signifies new beginnings, and it's the beginning of a new cycle, and it's both a beginning of a new 2-week cycle until the moon is full, and so you can feel into what that might mean in this particular window for you. So that would be May 16th to May 31st is when the moon is full again. But also the new moon is attached to a 6-month cycle too. So we're having a new moon in Taurus, and in 6 months we'll have a full moon in Taurus, and that really is able to show a bit more about what is possible for what you decide to work on and start to manifest towards or work towards. And we're going to get into some guidance from my guides about what would be most supportive for this new moon. So why I particularly wanted to film this video and highlight a new moon is because right now all of the outer planets that were making their big shifts in 2026 are in their places, and they're going to be where they're going to be for the next 7 years minimum, depending on what planet we are talking about. And so this really feels to me like the new beginning, this new start of being this really new version of us. I feel like, and I talked about it in a previous episode with the Neptune-Saturn conjunction, that we were getting a good idea of what that was going to be and what that path was going to be for us. But now, especially in the sign of Taurus, which is an earth sign, which is a really body-based sign, it's connected to the physical body and pleasure and experiencing in the body, in this human body and on this planet, the world, that this is going to be when we're actually going to be able to ground in what is possible and what's coming up for us, and who we're supposed to be in this new paradigm. So depending on how clear you are about what that is for you, that this may or may not feel totally comfortable, or it might even feel a little vague for you. Hopefully you are able to look back at some insights that you had during the eclipse season earlier this year, so February, March, and what came up for you that was new, and who you're supposed to be in this new world, on this new earth, in this new frequency, but who you're supposed to be, not what everybody else is going to do to make the shift, but who you individually are supposed to be. And right now, Uranus has moved into Gemini. We have Pluto has already been in Aquarius, and Neptune is in Aries. And so all of these outer planets, which are bigger collective planets, but also are the slow-moving planets that really spend time in making these massive shifts, those are all in place of where they're going to be for at least the next 7 years, and Pluto still has, I think, 18 more years to be in Aquarius. So we're in this beginning point of where everything is going to be energetically. The bigger outer planets that are slower moving, that stay in one place for a long time, they're there now. And both our collective, the community, is going to be able to be clear about where we're going, or at least it's adjusting to where we're going. But us as individuals have this really beautiful opportunity to start taking and grounding, it's taking the steps, but it's more than that. It's feeling who we're supposed to be and knowing that and getting to connect with that more and beginning to support this evolution of us, because every single one of us is evolving, depending on where we are in our lives for sure, but what houses each of these planets is activating for us. But for right now, what this new moon is in the 25th degree of Taurus. And so I encourage you to take a look at your birth chart and see if there's anything right around there. But I'm also going to say out loud that Taurus is the sign right before Gemini, and Uranus just moved into Gemini. And a lot of other planets, the more personal planets, which is Venus, the Sun, Mercury, Mars, they're going to begin to make their shifts into Gemini if they're not already there as well. And so being able to have the moon so close to where this big shift for this spontaneous, rapid change planet, which is Uranus, has moved into already, is really going to, I think, give us some illuminations on this new moon. So that's the next thing I would invite you to do, is on and around this new moon, so that's May 16th again, that you're able to take in what new insights come in, what clues is this giving you to who you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to be stepping towards on your path of beginning to be more and more of your full true self. I have 5 messages from my guides again, to kind of give us all some pointers of how to work with this energy. And again, it will be for the next 2 weeks, but it's really the next 6 months and even longer if we look at that bigger arc of those outer planets. The last thing I want to say before I get into the guidance is that I am opening a temple of attunement later on in July. And so if you're hearing this and you're interested in doing supported work with me to continually walk this path of getting closer and closer to your full true self, we're always evolving, so we never quite get there, but just check out the link below, and if you're interested in getting on the wait list, I'd love to see you there, so I can reach out to you when it comes to scheduling when our live sessions will be together. So the first message I have from my guides was new you. Who is this, and who do you need to be? So this new version of us that's moving forward is new, and getting to spend some time getting to know and kind of feel into who that is or what that's asking of you is going to be something I recommend. And who do you need to be? So one of the things that I know that I really got the clear message around the Saturn-Neptune conjunction for myself is that really bringing in these gifts that I was born with into my current life and into the work I'm doing moving forward was really clear, by being able to connect with the unseen, to be able to work as this guide, this conduit in between the earth and the skies for all of those that I do work with. And one of the things I'm doing is I'm saying yes to a spirit drum making apprenticeship, and I'm really excited about that. Like, it's allowing me to be able to step more fully into that part of me, and you all know that I drum already, but it's something I'm saying yes to that's a long-term thing. It's a 1-year apprenticeship that I will be a different person on the other side, but it's feeling those things of what is going to spark me to be able to be this new version of me, and what does that person want to do? What does that version of me want to do? So the second guidance that came through was, what daily rhythms can support you being this version of you? So I just gave an example of something that's big. That's going to be a whole year-long commitment for me. But what new rhythms can you partake in? And on a daily basis? Is that a different morning routine? Is that a different drink in the morning? Is that a different allowing yourself to take a 10-minute rest during the day? Like, what is new and needed for you right now that's not what you've always done, but what is needed for this version of you that you're becoming? What does she or he need? What do they need? What do you need in your daily life to become this version of you that you're walking into, and how can you integrate that into your day? The next message was, how can you open your heart more? Our hearts not only are how we love, give, and receive love, but they're also our protection and the way many people say that we're going to be connected and really connected to others in the future. To be honest, every time I start recording these episodes, what I'm doing is connecting my heart to your heart. And that is where, in the probably not so distant future, this place that we're all moving to collectively, that is why this new moon is so important, is a shift in how we connect with each other. And being able to truly connect at the heart level is something that is where we're headed to. But that has to be safe, we have to be practiced and opened. And our hearts are also our protection. So if you've ever worked with me in person, often we do a heart expansion, opening breath and opening drop-in practice, so that our hearts are protecting all of us in that moment and in that time together. But that is something we need to intentionally do. And so this message was, how can you open your heart more? And only you will know what that means, but being able to just connect to your heart and breathe into your heart and ask it what messages it has for you would be one thing that I'd recommend. Or if that's too much for you or just too far out there, can you breathe into your heart, allow your breaths to just expand your heart, your energetic heart, and soften the edges of the heart while you're connected to it. That's something that you could do as part of a meditation practice. So that could be something that you integrate into your daily routine, if that feels aligned for you moving forward. Or it could be that you just do it while you're sitting outside on a bench in the sun. Message number 4, do things that make you smile. I really feel like this is a message that's pointing us to how can we connect to joy more. And it is important right now. As we're making all these shifts on this big collective level, on societal levels, there's a lot of change that's happening. There's a lot of things being illuminated that maybe aren't things that we want to see, including things from ourselves. So not just the collective and not out there, but also in here, of things that we know that we're already part of, or things that we see that we don't like what we're seeing. And yet we are still human and having this human experience, and part of that experience is being able to experience joy. What does joy, pleasure, bliss, happiness feel like to you, and how can you give yourself more of that to soften all of these shifts that are happening? Not to pretend that they're not there, but to allow you to feel the full spectrum of what it is to be human at this time, so that you don't forget all the really good things that exist here too. What makes you smile? It might be holding your child's hand, or petting your dog's head, or looking at your grandchild and being able to see them smile, and that reciprocal relationship that all of those 3 examples have, and what they give to us and what we give to them as we're participating in that. could also be having a really good cup of coffee or having a really good cookie. It could be all of those things, but doing more things that make you smile. The fifth message and the final message was close your eyes and breathe. So I'm actually going to invite us to all do that at this moment. And unless you're driving and listening to this, inviting you to just take that pause and allow your breath to move through your body. However it feels like it wants to move right now. Noticing the open spaces, maybe the tighter spaces. Maybe you want to breathe into your heart. And I invite you to maybe even if it's safe to do so, to stay here with your eyes closed and breathing while I finish up these next couple of thoughts that I have. So this new moon in Taurus is a really big opportunity for us to begin to be who we're transitioning into being. And these 5 messages were really gentle suggestions for how to support that. In addition to that, just having that opportunity to really connect with who it feels like you're becoming now in this new paradigm that we're fully in now. At least in terms of the astrology, we're in it. And you likely already have a sense, or at least a sense of the direction of where you're meant to go. And if you are looking for any more support aside from Temple, if you're interested in doing an intuitive reading with me, I'll put the link below as well, so that if you're not clear as to where you're headed, this reading would definitely give you support in your overall where you're heading, what things you can do for your own body right now, but what your current purpose is as well. So I am sending you a lot of love, and I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to hearing from you, and I always welcome new episode ideas below, or just comments about how this particular episode landed for you. I will see you soon.